Hello. Wow. Right, don't worry. This is the last video I'm going to do about Summer in the City for a while. I'm still buzzing and I'm filming this on Wednesday. Admittedly, I'm still not 100% recovered sleep-wise because it's a very draining thing. That's what I'm going to go into actually. I'm going to go into the autistic logistics. I like that. That is becoming a series name. I attended Summer in the City for the entire weekend. For the first time. Doing an entire weekend is a challenge for anyone, never mind someone on the spectrum. I'm literally going to talk through the entire weekend, talking about what I found easy, what people at Summer in the City did to make the experience a lot more manageable for me, but then also talk about the challenges, still repping my SITC band. So let's start it off with Friday. This is something that I'm never going to do again. Woke up at 5:30 in the morning. When I don't get much sleep, I find my sensory system, I don't deal with it as well. I'm more able to block out overwhelming senses when I'm more awake. When I'm tired, that ability just goes and everything's just so much more like, sounds are louder, lights are brighter, smells are more pungent. So naturally, going to a convention, I walk in. No, I didn't have a meltdown, I was just on edge. My first objective always of conventions is to go around the entire thing just so I can map it out in my head. Now I don't know why, but I was expecting a very similar layout to last year, and because that's what I had in my head, when I got in there I was like, it's different. Which of course it was going to be different. I don't know why. I think I was just expecting like the open mic stage to be in the same corner, things like that. That was a challenge. It meant that the first couple of hours I was a little bit overloaded. I relied heavily on my earplugs the entire weekend. I need to say that, yes. Going up to creators is something that is quite strange because you feel like you know them because you watch their stuff, but ultimately you don't. I go in for a handshake. I don't do hugs. I have a hug list, I've explained this before, which I'll come back to the hug list though. Tell you what, that's weird. Eye contact with people who you're used to having eye contact with online, but it is bizarre one that is. I actually planned out my entire weekend. I had my plan cemented for the rest of the weekend and I could chill. Moving on to Saturday, because Saturday's the day where I had meet and greets. One thing we did have to do was collect our ballot tickets, which are little wristbands that go around your wrist. We were able to skip out the queue, go in the exit to the ballot information. There was a special booth which was cool, and what they said to us then is that we could go to the meet and greet area and arrange with them as to how it was going to work. Naturally, as soon as we got in, went straight to the meet and greet area to arrange that because I needed to know. And what they did, there was this guy called Elliot. Elliot was a security guy, and Elliot is the legend of the weekend. Like, he deserves. I was trying to find him on Sunday so I could get him in the vlog just to go, this is Elliot, he's a legend, but I couldn't find him. What he arranged is for us to have a time for the meet and greet. So I had meet and greets for Dodie and Gary. Dodie at 12, Gary at 4, and what he did, he said, right, you have a slot at 12:30, you have a slot at 4:30. You will be able to go straight to the front, straight in, straight out. Perfect. And that worked really well. Gary, bless him, oh my god. On Periscope a couple of weeks before, I'd said to him, oh, by the way, don't be offended if I don't hug you. I'm not the biggest fan of hugging. And then he was saying about what he was wearing for SITC, and he was like, I'm just going to wear a polo shirt every day. And I said, oh, there's no chance of me hugging you then. Because with polo shirts, I don't like to feel the texture of them. I don't mind wearing them for a short period of time, but I don't like touching them, and it makes my arms go all itchy and walk up to Gary and say hi. He just went, look, I didn't go in to hug you straight away, and I'm wearing a t-shirt, not a polo shirt. My heart went like, that is what you call going the extra mile. Obviously that isn't going to happen for everyone. Yeah, and I thought, do you know what, I can't not hug you after that. And I was fine with Gary's hug. However, on Sunday, it wasn't Elliot in charge. The solution that they had was to put me at the front of the queue, which is fine. There was a bit of uncertainty though. Different volunteers thought the front of the queue was different things because of course I was medical fast track. There was also fast track for people who had more than one wristband. For Luke at 12, it wasn't really an issue. For Luke's, we were just put straight at the front, and it was simply a case of as soon as Luke was ready, go. It got to Pete's meet and greet though, and hell broke loose. Oh my god. They decided to put the medical fast track behind the normal fast track. Meant there was 15 people in front of me. If anyone knows Pete talks. So I was fully aware that there was going to be about a half-hour wait, which defies the point of me waiting and thinking. If I'm sitting down and I've got to shuffle along every like 5 minutes, that messes with my brain. That's what stresses me out. And there's no certainty of exactly how long it's going to be. I was really trying to just wait. The meltdown started happening, yes. It didn't get too far because my sister, who was being my carer, she literally just ran straight up to the front like, look, he can't wait any longer. Brought us around to the front. I'd literally seen Pete 20 minutes prior and we were having a big long conversation about something. I got calmed down a bit because it's like, Pete thinks I'm cool, I can't cry on him. So I managed to collect myself. Well, I thought I did. Gary was taking photos and videos for him, and he just looked at me and he was like, are you okay? Because I was just like, And then Gary came over to me to like properly check if it was okay, and of course he'd already been so lovely on Saturday and just luckily there was one person, so while we were waiting for that person to finish, it was fine. I managed to compose myself. Me and Pete just chatted like we normally do, and it was all good for that one. The last meet and greet I had was Emma's. This was another one which I had issues with, so again that was another one where they said we'll put you at the front, but the volunteers weren't talking to each other. Basically they kept saying different instructions at me, and if you say different instructions, that's when my brain stresses out. A security woman walked up to us and was like, why did you push in front of those people? They were at the front of the queue. And I was like freaking out and looked at Lauren like, because my words go. And then she burst out into laughter. You can't do that to someone on the autistic spectrum. No. I was nearly in tears. That's how stressed I was. I can't do confrontation. Then when it got to the Emma's meet and greet bit, what they do is they take off your wristbands, and this lady, I so wish I'd asked for a name. She walked me through everything she's going to do. She's like, I'm going to put 2 fingers under the bracelets, I'm going to insert the scissors now and snip it. Which some people might say that sounds really patronising. In that state of mind, that is what I need. I'm panicking. I need to be told exactly what is happening. It was perfect. I really wish I'd asked for a name. So definitely for the meet and greet side of things, if I do it again, I don't think I want to do meet and greets again because I've met everyone I want to meet. I would advise anyone on the spectrum, the least stressful experience is getting a time arranged. Just do it, nice and simple. The maximum you will have to wait is just for the person to finish talking to who they're talking to. Now the other thing was panels. This was brilliant. This was a brilliant system because of course people queue up to go into a panel. Can't do that, can't be caged in with other people. We were simply allowed to go to the exit, explain to the volunteer, and they would arrange for us to go to the front and be let in before. Problem is the first panel that we went to, they just let us both in. Well, they let us in and then immediately let the crowds of people. So of course I just got swarmed and was like, didn't have a meltdown luckily, but it was still extremely stressful. Then for the next panel I wanted to go in, this woman was absolutely brilliant. I really wish I asked her name. What she did, she wanted to know exactly what I needed, and I just said, look, can you just let me in, let me settle, and then let everyone else in? And that's what she did. She made sure the entire panel room was empty. I could go, I could choose whatever seat I wanted to, whatever I was going to be most comfortable with, and as soon as I was ready and comfortable, she let everyone else in. Because normally what you're meant to do in panel rooms is fill up from a certain point, etc. That woman, of course all of these things that I had were because I arranged the carer pass. This is something that I'm going to say is essential if you're on the spectrum. All you need is either a doctor's letter, if you're entitled to ESA or PIP, you can use them and you will get a carer's pass. It means you get someone free to attend with you. Yes, they can't enter meet and greet ballot. Dodie let Lauren, so did Pete. But it just means you've got someone there who understands you and can calm you down and arrange things for you. The other things I'd say are essential: earplugs if you're affected by noise. I really did rely on earplugs for a lot of the weekend. Another essential I would say is to have your hotel booked for the entire weekend from Thursday to Monday, just to ensure that you get enough sleep for each night. Don't do it next to a high street like we did, because I didn't have any sleep on Saturday night, therefore Sunday was more stressful than it needed to be. So on the whole, volunteers, excellent job, perfect, can't commend you enough. Yes, fair enough, there was a little communication glitch with some of them, but it was easily resolved, so therefore no problems with them. I've just been editing this video and realised there's a couple of things I didn't talk about. I talked about how autism friendly the event actually is at the moment and what I had to do to adapt to it, but of course a whole big question I missed was what could Sovereign City do to become more autism friendly. So that's what I want to discuss in the comments, because I have my own ideas, but whether you've attended, you want to attend, whether you've conventions in general, what do you think could be done to make it as stress-free as possible? Please let me know, comments down below. Let's return for the ending. Thank you very much for watching. Knox.